Hello friends, oh, why is it so out of focus? Here. Damn these one-shots and no edits. Anyways, damn these one-shots and no edits. Last week when I made a video, I said that, the next video I was gonna make was me talking about my introduction into alternative culture, because it was a bit of an accident, and it really just, this one little thing just opened up the door for so much, like, outside influence in my life. It's weird. But, basically, my mom had money, but she was also, like, a Christian fundamentalist lady, and she also, didn't really spend that money on food and clothes for me and my sister and stuff. She spent it on house decorations and pretending to be fancy and all that crap. So we would wear hand-me-downs, which is fine. I still kind of do that shit, so, you know, not knocking it. But the problem was that where we got the hand-me-downs. She had this rich friend, and her rich friend was like 60-something, and then her rich friend had this like teenage daughter, and my mom's rich friend would give her old clothes and her teenage daughter's clothes to us, thinking, you know, like, oh, my mom is gonna wear her old clothes or something, I don't know. And then, of course, you know, two teenage girls are gonna want some of her teenage daughter's clothes, maybe. But my mom, being the overly religious, zealous, crazy person that she was, had all these rules about how you're supposed to dress. Like, you're not even supposed to show your shoulders, or if you show too much of your collarbone, that's bad too, and your sleeves can't be too short, and, you know, your shorts have to be to your knees, and, like, all this just stupid, ridiculous crap, because, you know, shoulders are just so sexy that no one can even function if they see a glimpse of a fucking shoulder in their vicinity. So she would go through her clothes and she'd be like, why? So-and-so's daughter is very, promiscuous. These clothes are not for you. And then she would give those clothes to Goodwill, and we would be left with her 60-year-old friend's hand-me-downs. And something weird, like, teenagers and preteen girls don't really want to wear the clothes of 60-year-old women. They don't, of course, none of them fit right, and it was just, like, a weird situation. They were all too big for me, but I was, like, skin and bones, and, you know, wearing clothes that are too big for you isn't really bad. Not the same as wearing clothes that are too small for you are, especially in her eyes. So that's what I got to wear, and I basically was just making the best out of it. I was trying to turn, like, all these old-timey, old-timey clothes with weird, outdated patterns and, like, things from the 80s and stuff into something that, you know, I could wear and not feel completely terrible about. And I thought that I was doing a pretty good job. I was feeling pretty spiffy, like, I'm rocking the hell out of this blue cheetah print right now. Shoulder pads, I'll just cut them out. It'll be fine. It was not. You can't just cut shoulder pads out. There's all that loose fabric. It's a mess, and oh boy. Anyways, that jacket, the blue cheetah print shoulder pad jacket, was the one that I wore for picture day because it was one of the the nicer, less old lady looking clothes. And no offense to this woman who gave us her clothes. This is very nice of her, whatever. But it was picture day. I think it was 7th grade, and when I saw the picture in like the yearbook, and I just like cried, and I could not handle that. So I couldn't afford to buy my own clothes at this point. If I did, because I did get my hands on a few things, they would just get confiscated and thrown away, and I'd get in trouble and be a whole big ordeal. Oh, godly women wouldn't wear such a thing. Ugh. And, so I decided that the least I could do was just wear everything that was black. So I wouldn't get no cheetah print, and, you know, even if I was wearing some ridiculous thing with poof sleeves, they were black poof sleeves, and it just made it, like, slightly less ridiculous than, like, bright pink poof sleeves, you know? So I just started, basically picking out everything was black or brown, mostly black, from the stuff that got sent to us. And I was feeling pretty okay about that. And, people started, like, pointing at me and yelling. Like, I'm sure you've heard this before. Maybe it's happened to you if you dress, like, a little differently, with darker colors. They, like, scream and they point and they go, "Goth! Goth!" And I was like, why are these fucking weirdos yelling at me, goth? What is that? And then, like, some dumb kid in my class came up to me and was like, "Oh, you wear all black every day. Are you goth?" And I was just like, this is my chance. Because the internet really wasn't a thing back then. I was surrounded by other Christian people. I was like, what is goth? And they thought that I was full of shit. They were like, dude, you are fucked up. You are full of shit. You're trying to be, like, trying to pretend that you're cool, like you made this shit up. And then they asked me, like, a series of questions. They were like, so, what do you do for fun? And I was like, I write and read poetry. And that was, like, a point in the goth category. And then, my mom used to kick me out of the house all the time for no reason, and I was tired of getting bothered by stupid people in our neighborhood and followed by cars and shit. So, when she'd kick me out, I would go and spend the night in the graveyard and just wait for, her to forget that she was pissed off and unlock the doors and go to sleep so I can kind of, like, sneak back in. And sometimes she didn't unlock the doors, but I could break in. It wasn't a big deal. I just basically had to spend a few hours in the graveyard at night until she'd go to bed. So they were like, where do you spend most of your time? Not at home. And I was like, the graveyard. And they were like, who is your favorite writer? And most of the books I had were Christian romance novels. But the next door neighbors used to be teachers, and they gave us a big collection of their books, and among those books was like a collection of the works of Edgar Allan Poe, and I liked those the best. So when I was like, Edgar Allan Poe, they were just like, yeah, you're goth. I was like, shit. Okay, this is good news, actually, because if this is a thing, that means that there are more people like me out there somewhere, and I just need to find them. I did find them. They did not like me. We do not like each other. I do not consider myself goth, but it, just kind of really opened the door into all sorts of different alternative culture, and, it was really a good thing. It was a happy accident. A happy accident caused by a bunch of assholes and Christian fundamentalists. So that's my story about my introduction to alternative culture. I hope that you like the story. If there's anything else that you want to hear about, comment. Or if you have any questions, you can comment. And if you like my videos, make sure to subscribe. And I will see you. I almost said I will see you around the internet. That's what liberal viewer says. I can't fucking say that. Peace, bitch.